We're back again.
How are you?
My research partner, Dan Vit.
Top of the Java to you.
Having some morning coffee down here by the river. And we're back for our fourth installment of the ITF UFO News and Commentary. So today we wanted to talk a little bit about disclosure. And so I'm going to ask Dan first right off the bat about how he feels about disclosure. You know, whether it's going to happen, are we closer to it, you know, things like that. So what do you think, Dan?
As far as the government goes, I do not think we're going to learn very much. Maybe some of these folks who work for the government and they're going rogue will spill some information. I think it's too important for the government to keep it under wraps because I hate to sound negative.
Well, I mean, you know, to play the devil's advocate, they have kept it under wraps for decades now.
Right. I hate to play, but the reason I think they're doing that is so they can get the technology. And
I would agree.
I think that if that unfortunately were to happen, then our wars are going to get worse because man uses things the wrong way.
Right.
And I would almost say, I hope they don't get the technology from them because they'll probably kill all of us.
Well, I mean, also, you know, saying that they've
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. But
now, disclosure from other people is different as opposed to the government. Maybe somebody worked for the government, now they don't. I mean, there's been people on their deathbeds who have said things.
Right,
correct?
But, well...
Who knows if they're true, but...
Those are shaky.
Right.
And some of them have been traced back to be absolutely nothing.
Right, I'm sure.
They're just people that just came out and said, you know, I know all this stuff.
So disclosure can be a confusing thing to me.
You know, the thing is, too, is making a statement like they've kept it under wraps, whereas they really haven't. Like, we know it's out there.
They admit it's out there.
But yes. What they do is, their little game is to muddy the waters,
right?
To interject
right.
falsehoods, false
right.
narratives,
right.
to throw people off the trail because
right.
they don't want people to know about it.
Right.
They don't want people to think that it's an actual thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, I've always been under the opinion that, because they've been talking about disclosure. Look at Stephen Greer.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
He started the disclosure movement, I think, in 1993.
Right.
How long ago was that?
And what do we really know?
I mean, where's the disclosure? You know,
I'm still in the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what do we really know? We know things are flying around. We don't know where they're from. We don't know how they're flying around the way they are, and we don't know why. You know?
But I feel like that disclosure is something that keeps coming up throughout all the years I've been involved in ufology.
Right.
It comes up over and over and over again. And now there's this new generation that thinks that they're just going to demand disclosure and they're going to come out with it.
Right.
There's been presidents,
right.
for example.
Reagan saw one.
Different people who have asked to have access to this information who've been denied.
Right.
They've been denied
right.
by people in our own government.
Right.
So if they're not going to disclose things to, you know, the highest office in the land,
right?
You know,
they're not going to tell us.
Remember
Obama on Letterman?
They're going to make it available to the public when right. the commander-in-chief can't even find right. out what's going on. That doesn't even make sense.
Do you remember Obama on Letterman?
Yes. Was it Letterman?
I think it was Letterman.
Are you talking recently?
No. I think he was still president.
Okay.
And he asked him, so are there UFOs? And he says, I cannot answer that question. And David Letterman said, I think you just did.
Right. Right.
Remember that?
Yeah, he's made
saw that the
he's
other
made
day.
new statements now
Right.
that they've come out and the government confirmed that it was real, which is
Yeah,
just
right.
ridiculous. I mean,
Right.
so the bottom line is this: for disclosure itself, I don't think it's ever going to happen. They're
don't
going to
either.
keep playing games.
Yeah.
They're going to keep muddying the waters. I hate to, and some people may take that as I'm being negative. I'm not.
No, I mean it's been
It's
going on for
based
so
on
long.
years of
Right,
experience.
of
It's based
course.
on promises that were made that were broken.
Right.
Fake tales, false narratives. It's all based on that.
Right.
I have nothing else to go on.
Right.
So that's what I'm basing it on.
Right.
So,
That's great about it.
so that's disclosure for you. So,
We could go on and on and on, but it would be the same point.
right.
I mean, there's not where really anywhere else you can go with it. They're either going to tell us or they're not.
Right.
I don't think they're gonna. They're gonna feed us guppy food, and that's it.
Guppy food. I like that.
I just made that up. I just made that up.
Okay, so this second thing that we've been talking about, and I've made the statement before that I always tell people who are experiencers, abductees, contactees, get evidence. So there's one piece of footage that intrigues me. Out of the thousands of stories that have been told, this one piece of footage of this woman who, in 2010, she claimed that she had been being abducted. So her husband set up an infrared camera in the bedroom, and
Sure enough,
during the night,
she disappeared.
the sheet dropped to the mattress next to her husband, and she looks like she disappeared from the bed. 13 minutes later, the sheet rises again, and the woman is in the bed. So this is,
But don't leave out the fact that she said she was gone for 5 hours, 3 hours, right?
no, that was an assumption that was made that I had read in another article.
Okay.
But that's not it.
Okay,
It's
okay.
the investigation stated that she was gone for 13 minutes.
Okay.
So the camera runs the whole time.
Right,
13 minutes later, the sheet raises again, and she's back in the bed.
right.
Yeah, I mean, It's a weird piece of video. I can't explain it.
What's the heading on it so people can watch it? Do you remember?
It's actually, I'm trying to find it on YouTube, but I can't.
Oh.
It's included in like this article
Oh, I see.
that's from an English website
Right.
that talks about the whole investigation.
Right.
So when people are abducted, they claim that they're teleported,
Right.
which would make them disappear out of the room.
Right.
Some people say aliens come through the wall.
Right.
Some people say the whole room lights up. There's different scenarios with different people with abductions all around the world.
Yes, there are.
It's never a cookie cutter type of situation where it's
Right.
exactly the same.
Craft is different.
Yeah,
the way they
usually
were taken is different.
Right,
What's done
right.
to them is
Some
different.
people
and
can
that's what
feel
leaves
themselves
me even, that's
go
what makes
through
me
the
even more
wall.
skeptical.
Yeah, some people say they can.
And you also have the cattle mutilations. I mean, what is
Nah,
going
we won't
on?
go into that right now. That'll take. I'll
What
go
is,
off
I
on
mean,
that for
you
an
know,
hour.
what is going on? But if you can find the video, folks, I would advise watching it. It's very, very interesting.
I'm gonna try to put it above us while I'm talking, so it'll play. If not, I'll post the link underneath the video so people can have access to it. It's an interesting piece of video. You can make your own judgment call on it. I'm trying to get a hold of the guy who was head of the whole investigation from BUFOG, the Birmingham UFO Research Organization, or research group, I'm sorry.
Okay. Bob Lazar, Mr. Scott.
Oh, you want to talk about old Bobby, huh? Old Bobby Lazar.
See, I've always been interested in astronomy ever since I was a young kid. I know a lot about the stars, how the universe is, blah, blah, blah. I know how the sun works, blah, blah, blah. Then I heard Bob Lazar talk. And he has his spiel down so well that when I first got into this ufology thing, he was one of the first people that I,
Put faith in.
yes,
Yeah, me too.
I believed him.
Yeah.
I believed him. He sounded like
So-
he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, so-
I have an education, so
Have
I'm
you
not an
seen-
idiot.
Have you seen the brand new documentary?
No.
Okay, so
It turns out he's full of crap.
Jeremy Corbell reignited this whole thing with the new Lazar documentary that came out, I don't know, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of people online speculating whether Bob is telling the truth, and
Right.
there's believers, and
I
there's
think they're
non-believers.
half-truths. They're half-truths. And half-truths are no good.
Corbell and George Knapp are pushing this, especially because George Knapp is the one who discovered Bob back in the 90s. He's the one that brought him to the public. He
Right.
brought the first interviews to the public.
I see. Okay.
So, they have never been able to verify any of the schools that he claims to go to.
Now, I mean,
None.
it could be, did they wipe that off the
Yeah,
record?
that's just ridiculous.
Do they do that?
Let's just say they did do that.
Mhm.
You know how many people would have had to being involved
Yeah.
in the Erase Lazar scandal?
Yeah.
There would have not scandal, but that
Right,
whole thing.
right.
So there would have had to been people in the schools that would have had to erase his record.
Right.
None of the professors remember him, so they would have had to tell them,
Right.
you can't talk about Bob Lazar. You
Yeah,
know?
right,
I mean,
right.
it would have been so complex
Yep.
and so intricate to wipe his record out. It's
Right.
absolutely stupid.
Right.
It's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Right.
So here's what I think. The guy was he had a scientific background.
Right.
He was building rocket cars and doing all kinds of other things. He runs his own business out there.
Right.
He actually was arrested.
He's a smart guy.
He was arrested for running a brothel.
Really?
Yes. And
Wow.
that doesn't have any real bearing
It doesn't.
on the
It
Area
hasn't. It really has
51
none.
stuff. But he I believe that he may have worked out there,
Yeah.
but at a very small capacity, and then he embellished his story with aliens, and he was working on these top
It's
secret
been
craft.
proven that he did work there, and he had a certain
Well,
amount
it
of
wasn't
clearance.
proven. It wasn't proven.
I thought it was
There's
that
only-
he had clearance
No,
to one
there's
certain
only
spot.
one piece of evidence that says he was involved there, and that was the phone book where they found his
Right.
name in there.
Right.
But here's the thing. They're going to hire this outside guy who doesn't have a lot of experience to go and work on alien spacecraft.
Back engineering.
So wouldn't you think, if you use some common sense,
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to bring in some of the top scientists in the world
Yeah.
to back engineer or look at this stuff and examine it?
Right.
They're not going to bring in a guy like Bob Lazar. It's just ridiculous to think that,
Right.
you know, and none of his record could be verified. None of the schools, none of the professors. He couldn't even remember some of his professors' names. You know,
Right.
I don't know. I have a lot of problems with that case, and I don't.
Some of the things he said made so much sense to me at the time. But
Hey,
as I read on and on and on, I began to discover that I think he was making a lot of it up. But I still think at this point it's, for me, I could still go either way. That's where I'm at.
yeah, I'm done with that.
And I know a lot of other people say, screw this guy, he's drunk.
Yeah, and that would be me.
Yeah, right, I know that.
I don't put much faith
Right.
in that case at
Right.
all.
Right.
I don't think he's legitimate.
And he's kind of dropped out of the public eye.
Oh, no.
No, is he still doing
Not
his
since
thing?
the
Well, how come I'm not
documentary.
hearing about
He's
it?
back out there showing up at different places and conventions, and the
Right.
documentaries turned him into a star again.
Right.
You know.
Right.
It's like ufology goes through these every few years where it recycles
Yeah.
old stuff,
Right.
puts it back out in the public eye.
And new people believe it.
Exactly. It
Right.
brings in all these new people that go, oh my
Never
God,
heard
this
it
is
before,
incredible.
right? And that's what happened with me with Bob Lazar. That's my take on it.
Yeah,
when I first got into
if you
it,
get
I
a
listened
chance-
to him and I said, "Wow,
if you get a chance, you got to see that new documentary.
Right.
You know,
Right. So I definitely will.
I think that there's so many good researchers out there
Right.
that are
Oh, yeah.
peddling crap. It's so sad to see. It really is.
Did you see Saturn last night?
No,
Or Jupiter, rather?
no.
It was the strangest looking thing. I don't know where you folks are located. We're in Massachusetts, Central Mass. Last night, about 10 o'clock, I came out to look at it. You could see it, but it looked like the form of a cross. Not only did it look like the form of a cross, but it had red and green coming from it. I have never seen it look like that before in my life, ever. I almost called you up, and
It could be some kind of atmospheric thing.
it was definitely an atmosphere kind of a thing. Maybe the northern lights were touching it a little bit. I don't know. But that is right where Jupiter is supposed to be located. And it was right around the right time. It was about 10 o'clock at night. I've been online this morning trying to find people who saw the same thing I did. So if anybody can comment on that, and you saw Jupiter last night and it did not look normal, just let me know.
Yeah, drop a comment below the video, and also if you guys have
I
any.
think it was the Aurora Borealis, but I could.
Well, I mean that would have been the green.
Right. It was
spreading,
green and red and slight blue.
but it wouldn't have been like tiny. It would have been.
It was huge, but it wasn't always. It's always perfectly round. This was in the shape of a cross. I could clearly see it. I wish I had a good. If I had a good camera, I would have
Dan
taken a
Vit, folks,
picture.
standing up for you.
Hey, Dan Vit doesn't mess around, people. So if anybody saw something odd last night, just let me know. Thank you. That would be nice.
Yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up for today. Make sure you tune in every Friday night, UFO Classified with Erica Lukes and I. And Dan and I will be out doing some investigating.
We're going to try to get out at night and take some more films before it gets too cold out.
Yeah, before winter comes, it's really not conducive out here with the cameras.
When it's cold.
Yeah, we can't really take them out in the cold, so.
But we'll be doing a few more.
Yeah, so, and then, when winter comes, we'll probably do some news and commentary. We're just going to do it from inside.
Yeah.
So we'll try to get some more outside episodes done before it gets cold.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But, so we're going to sign off. So thanks for watching. And Dan Vit.
Peace out. See
Later,
you next
folks.
time. Have a great day.